Welcome to this session of mindfulness, awareness, and compassion practice. What we're going to do is get settled and grounded. Then we'll work with our breathing to stay focused and present. We will then open our awareness to the environment. And then beyond that, especially in times like this, we'll do a practice that enhances and expands our compassion for others. So let's get started, and then we'll have some time for discussion afterward. It's good when we do this practice, part of it will be with our eyes open. So you'll want to either turn your seat or turn your device in a way that you're not looking directly into your screen. But to start with, we'll work on our posture and getting settled and grounded. So you can let your eyes gently close and really tune into and inhabit your body. Sometimes we're so much in our head, it's as if we're just being transported along by our body and it's something separate. But we want to fully inhabit our body. So be aware of your legs, your feet. We want our if you're sitting on a chair, you can have your feet either flat on the floor, about hip width apart, with your lower legs perpendicular to the ground, to the floor. And if your legs are long or your seat is low and your knees are higher than your hips, just cross your legs there near at the ankles so that your knees are a little below your hips. It's easier on your legs and your back when we're sitting for a while. Now feel your sit bones, your base that you're sitting on. Notice if you're leaning one way or the other. Find that place where the weight is evenly distributed between your sit bones, right and left. We want to feel like our back is straight and upright. So feel your torso. There's some depth to it, front and back, not just side to side. We're not what we see in a mirror. We have 3 dimensions. But feel that from your tailbone up to the back of the top of your head is a straight line. When you do that, your chin comes in a little bit. Your weight sinks down into your sit bones. And you can move slightly left and right, slightly forward and back until you find that centered spot. It's neither left nor right, neither forward nor back. Your upper arms are hanging straight down from your shoulders, not pulled forward or pulled back. And your hands are resting naturally, palm down on each thigh respectively. Let your breastbone, your sternum, you can put a little energy into this of lifting it just very, very slightly up and forward, like at a 45-degree angle. Only a quarter of an inch, a centimeter. You'll find that when you do that, it opens up your chest, your shoulders come back to centered position. You might even feel your shoulder blades come together a little bit. So we have a firm, upright back and an open chest, an open heart. As I said, if the back of your head is extending straight up, then your chin naturally comes in a little bit. We want our jaw relaxed, not clenched, but not hanging open. So our lips are just barely touching or slightly parted. Your tongue can rest naturally, or if you're comfortable, it can float up and touch lightly behind on the upper palate, just behind your front teeth. And this is an upright and dignified posture. In this posture, we can tune into our unconditional confidence, our unconditional self-worth. We're living, breathing, body and mind. If you'd like, you can scan from the top of your head just to kind of melt away and let go of any unnecessary tension. There's a little tension to have an upright back, to lift our sternum. Everything else we want to let hang down around our spine, like the canvas hanging from a tent pole before it's pulled out into a tent. So just be aware of your face muscles, and your scalp. Let it all soften. Your jaw, let it soften without hanging open. Neck and shoulders, you may be holding your shoulders up and not even realize it. Without pushing them down, just let them fall. Upper arms, chest, upper back. Again, a little bit of tension to hold that posture. Everything else, let it relax around that. Rib cage, solar plexus, lower back, deep belly and pelvic region. We clench sometimes and don't even realize it. Without losing your posture, just let it soften. Let the tension melt and flow down and out of you. Sink down. Really let your weight sink into your sit bones, into the seat that you're on. Sink down, feel connected to the earth. Forearms and hands, thighs, knees, calves, ankles, and feet. Let the tension melt out of them. So we're sitting fully grounded, fully centered, but upright, with dignity, like a majestic mountain. Within that, notice how your body moves as the breath comes in and out. We want to breathe mainly through our nose, always in through our nostrils. If some comes out through our mouth, that's okay. And as the diaphragm pushes down to draw the breath in and pushes up to expel the breath, it makes it feel like your breath goes all the way down to the deep core of your torso. And then flows out from there. Rest your awareness in that deep core. Feel it gently expanding and contracting as the breath comes in and out. And leave your attention there with that feeling of expanding and contracting, filling and emptying. And now gently open your eyes about halfway. Soften your gaze so that your main attention is still on that internal feeling of filling and emptying. But now there's some awareness of the space that your body is sitting in. You don't have to control your breath. Your body breathes for you. Be an observer rather than a director. Your gaze is soft, not looking at anything particular, just aware of the space that your body's sitting in. You're aware of your posture. Your attention is on that internal sensation of filling and emptying. At a certain point, your mind may wander off into a thought, leading to another thought and another, into a little daydream. But those always kind of end. And at that sudden end, you realize you're back to the present moment. At that point, have a sense of humor about it. Smile. Go, wandering mind. Back to body and breathing. And reconnect with your posture, the feeling of filling and emptying, and the space you're sitting in. We'll do that for a couple of minutes. If your eyes have closed and you've gotten sleepy, just open your eyes wider naturally. Look out a little further and be more aware of the upper part of your breathing, how the air comes in and expands your chest, goes out as it contracts. If your mind has been off into lots of daydreams, no judgment. Just tune back into your deep core and pay a little more attention to the details, the transition starting to fill, the feeling of filling, and the transition from full to starting to empty. We'll do that for a couple more minutes. As the gong fades, you can relax your posture a little, move around. We're going to refresh. It's often recommended to do short sessions, but to do many of them rather than try to grind it out for a long session and then have your mind wandering all over the place. And today I wanted to introduce a kind of mindfulness on the go. And there are two versions of that use our hands as well as our breathing. So one of them is to hold your hand up in front of you, about chest height, and have your index finger of your other hand with the first knuckle, that first bend, right at your outside of your wrist. And as you breathe in, at a normal pace, run your finger up the outside of your index finger up the outside of your little finger. And you look at your hand while you're doing this. And then as you breathe out, breathe a little extra slowly down to the joint. Up and slowly down. Up and slowly down as you exhale. Inhale up. Slowly exhale. Inhale up. And slowly exhale down to the wrist. In reverse, inhale up. Slowly exhale. Inhale up. Slowly exhale. Inhale up. Slowly exhale. Inhale up. Slowly exhale. Inhale up. And slowly exhale. And if you want to continue, you can switch hands and do it the other direction. The other technique, somewhat less obtrusive, you can do it with your hands in your lap, but I'm going to hold my hands up to do this. And that is to hug your finger. Now, there's some golfers on here. You want whatever your ideal grip pressure is, not too tight, not too loose. For everyone else, how you gently hug someone you care about. So you hug your thumb for an inhale and a slow exhale. Hug your index finger. Middle finger. Ring finger. And little finger. For this one, it's good to switch hands. Thumb. Index finger. Middle finger. Ring finger. And little finger. So anytime you're waiting for something, hands in your lap, you can just do your hugging, finger hugging mindfulness practice. Other times, finger tracing mindfulness or hand tracing mindfulness practice. Okay. So let's reconnect with your posture. This one, definitely be sure that your screen is well out of the way because we want to raise our gaze. So connect with your posture, feel your sit bones, upright back, raise your sternum a little bit, open heart, firm back. And let your eyes be open naturally. And relax your gaze, and wherever direction you're looking in, just let your eyes look in that direction. We're tuning in more to our environment this time than our internal sensations. A feeling of letting go of our self-consciousness, more open to out there. So whatever direction you're looking at, soften your gaze. Open it up, open up your peripheral vision. Aware of the bigger space that your body is sitting in front and around you. And as the breath goes out, it mixes with the atmosphere in the room. Ride the breath out and let your awareness open up to the space in the room. Sights and sounds out there. Breathe out, open. Just rest in that openness. The body breathes in by itself. That's part of your awareness. But mainly go out, open, and rest in spaciousness. We'll do that for a couple of minutes. Again, if the mind has wandered off, just smile, make a little mental note, wandering mind, without judgment. Reconnect and reinvigorate your posture, then go again out with the breath, open and rest in spaciousness. Reinvigorate your posture if you need to. And raise your gaze a little bit to look straight ahead. And soften your facial muscles. Soften your vision so that it opens up very wide to your peripheral vision. Above and below, right and left. You might almost feel like you can see a little bit behind in each direction. And notice colors, shapes, and shades of light and dark. That's all that the eye sees: colors, shapes, and shades of light and dark. Our mind gathers those into what we call objects. Notice if labels arise in your mind. Bookcase, door, window. No need to elaborate further, just notice how labels arise in our minds. Listen for sounds. You can leave your eyes open. Listen for sounds. Coming in from all directions. Notice if you label them near and far. They're all just vibrations hitting our ears. We add the concept of near and far. Notice if a feeling of like or dislike arises when you hear sounds. refresh your posture. Now we'll begin a compassion meditation. It's really more of a contemplation, but we use our breathing to create a rhythm of wanting to send others peace, health, and happiness, and want to relieve others of pain, suffering, fear, insecurity. Know and think of and feel all the things that make you happy, that make you feel at peace, healthy, secure. And send that out as you breathe out from your heart. Your heart is filled with the capacity for kindness and compassion. Send out that to loved ones that you have, one or more that you think of. You can do this with your eyes open or closed, but just imagine them in front of you. And as you breathe out, imagine that from your heart extends this kindness and caring, sending them peace, health, and happiness. If you'd like, you can imagine that this cool moonlight goes out to them, soothing, calming, pleasing. Some people find it helpful to put their hand over their heart, in the center of the chest, their heart center. Send out to your loved ones. And then contemplate what makes you unhappy, anxious, fearful, and tune into the same qualities that your loved ones experience. We all share those experiences. And imagine that as you breathe in, you're taking away from them. You're taking away the fear, the unhappiness, the pain, the anxiety, drawing it out like dark smoke coming out of them and freeing them from that pain and suffering. Your heart of compassion is like the sun. You can actually breathe in that negativity, and the sun of your heart burns it up. And then the moon of kindness in your heart sends out cooling rays of kindness. Whatever images connect with you, as you breathe in, imagine you're freeing others from suffering. As you breathe out, you're sending them kindness and happiness. And once you have that rhythm with your loved ones, it feels so good to take away their suffering. Send that good feeling out to them and enhance their happiness and contentment. Once you have that cycle, know that all beings share that same feeling. Humans and animals all want happiness, all want to be free from suffering. So think of everyone you've ever met. Good, bad, or indifferent relationship. We all share that. Breathe in, take away their suffering. Breathe out, send them peace, health, and happiness. You have an infinite supply from your heart of compassion. Infinite capacity to breathe in and transform the energy from negative to kindness, peace, health, and happiness. If you'd like, if the conflicts in the world, like Ukraine and the Middle East, come to mind, so much unnecessary suffering. Breathe in and free people, relieve them of their suffering, even for a moment. Breathe out, send them a moment of safety, health, contentment. And finally, we go deeper into the causes of happiness and suffering. All the negative emotions of hatred, anger, aggression, greed, lust for power. Breathe all that. As you breathe in, imagine you're freeing everyone from those negative emotions, taking them away and sending out, replacing them with kindness, love, understanding, patience, acceptance. And deepest of all, as you breathe in, take away all the ignorance in the world, the confusion, the misunderstandings, and send out wisdom and understanding. Fill all beings with wisdom and understanding. Take away all the ignorance, bias, prejudice. And as the gong fades, just come back to non-conceptual feeling of filling and emptying as you breathe back in your body, here in the present moment. Thank you. And in the same spirit of caring for others, extending ourselves to others, it's traditional when we end a practice session to dedicate whatever benefit came from that also to others. So you can repeat after me or put it in your own words. May the practice we have just done be of benefit to others, even more so than to ourselves. And thank you for participating in this session of mindfulness, awareness, and compassion practice.